Although Bertha Young was 30, she still had movements like this when she wanted to run instead of walk, to take dancing steps on and off the pavement, to bowl a hoe, to throw something up in the air and catch it again, or to stand still and laugh at nothing simple. What can you do if you are 30 and turning the cover of your own streets you are overcome suddenly by a feeling of bliss, absolute bliss, as though you had suddenly swallowed a bright breath of that late afternoon sun, it is burned in your bosom, sending out a little shower of sparks into every particle, into every finger and toe? Oh, is there no way you can express it without being drunk and disorderly? How idiotic civilization is! Why be given a body if you have to keep it shut up in a case like a rare fiddle?
Thanks, Mary. Is nurse back?
Yes, ma'am.
And has the fruit come?
Yes, ma'am. Everything's done.
Bring the fruit up to the dining room, will you? I will arrange it before I go upstairs.
It was dark in the dining room and quite chilly, but all the same Bertha threw off her coat. She could not bear the tight clasp of it another moment, and the cold air fell on her arms. But in her bosom there was still that bright broad blaze, that shower of little sparks coming from it. It was almost unbearable. She hardly dared to breathe for fear of falling in highway. And yet she breathed deeply, deeply. She hardly dared to look into the cold mirror, but she did look, and it gave her back of woman, radiant, with smiling, trembling lips, with big, dark eyes, and an air of listening, waiting for something divine to happen, that she knew must happen, infallible. Mary brought in the fruit on a tray, and with it a metal bowl, very lovely.
Shall I turn on the light, ma'am?
No, thank you. I can see quite well. Fruit. The fruit must be perfect. Something like this. Maybe if this. Something like this. No. No. I'm getting hysterical.
Oh, my lovey, it is up like a good girl.
Has she been good, Nanny?
Oh, she had been really sweet all the afternoon. We went to the park and we sat on a chair. A dog came and put its hair in my knees, and she touched its ears. Oh, you should have seen her. She was really sweet.
Oh, Nanny, let me finish her supper while you put the bad things away.
Oh, you should know that we haven't to change her in hands. It will be not good for her.
Oh, I must.
Okay. Please don't excite her. You do, ma'am. You know you do that. And I have to pass a lot of time with her after.
Now I got you to myself, my precious, my dear precious. You're very nice, very, very nice. I'm fond of you. I like you.
You are wanted on the telephone, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is that you, Bert? Look here, I'll be late. I'll take a taxi and come along as quickly as I can. But get dinner put back 10 minutes, will you? All right?
Oh, yes, perfectly. Oh, Harry,
Yes?
What had she to say? She had nothing to say. She only wanted to get in touch with him for a moment. She couldn't absolutely cry. Hasn't it been a divine day?
What is it?
Nothing, nothing.
They had people coming to dinner, the Norman Knights, a very sound couple. He was about to start a theatre, and she was awfully keen on interior decoration. A young man, Eddie Warren, who had just published a little book of poems and whom everybody was asking to dine, and a find of Bertha's called Pearl Fulton. What Miss Fulton did, Bertha didn't know. They had met at the club, and Bertha was falling in love with her, as she always did fall in love with beautiful women who had something strange about them. The provoking thing was that, though they had been about together and met a number of times and really talked, Bertha couldn't make her out. Up to a certain point, Miss Fulton was rarely, wonderfully frank. But a certain point was there, and beyond that she would not go.
But Mrs. Barton is very frank. Is there anything young her?
No. She is cold like older woman, with a little perhaps of anemia of the brain.
No. The way she sits with her head on one side and smiling has something young her, Harry, and I must find what that something is.
Most likely it's a good stomach. Liver frozen, my dear.
I'm so happy, so happy.
Really, she had everything. She was young. Harry and she were as much in love as ever, and they got on together splendidly and were really good pals. She had an adorable baby. They didn't have to worry about money. They had this absolutely satisfactory house and garden, and friends, modern, thrilling friends, writers and painters and poets or people keen in social questions, just the kind of friends they wanted. And there were books, and there was music, and she had found a wonderful little disc marker, and they were going abroad in the summer, and the new cook made the most superb omelettes.
No. I am absurd.
Hello. Why is the middle class so sketchy, so utterly without a sense of humor? My darling dog so upset. The train that is rose to a man and simply at me with his eyes. Didn't laugh, wasn't amused that I should have laughed. Just stared and bore me through and through.
But the cream of it was, you don't mind me telling this face, do you? The cream of it was when she, being foul-fed, turned to the human being beside her and said, haven't you ever seen a dog before?
Oh yes, wasn't that too absolutely creepy? Good night, sir. It is the right house, isn't it? I think so. I hope so. Okay. How sad.
I have had such a dreadful experience with the taximan. He was most sinister. I couldn't get him to stop. The more I knocked and called, the faster he went, and in the moonlight, this bizarre figure with a flattened head crouching over the little wheel. I saw myself driving through eternity in a timeless taxi. Well, Warren, how is the play?
Oh, Mr. Warren, what happy thoughts.
I'm so glad you like them. They seem to have got much whiter since the moon rose. There is a moon, you know. I'm sure there is. Often. Where is Harry? Well, Harry, I don't...
There is he now.
Hello, people. Now in 5 minutes.
Harry.
And they heard him
came swarm up the stairs. Bertha couldn't help smiling. She knew how he loved doing things at high pressure. What, after all, did an extra 5 minutes matter? But he would pretend to himself that they mattered beyond measure, and then he would make a great point of coming into the training room, extravagant, cool, and collected. Harry had such a zest for life. Oh, how she appreciated in him! And his passion for fighting, for seeking in everything that came up against him another test of his power and his courage. That, too, she understood, even when it made him just occasionally, to other people who didn't know him well, a little ridiculous perhaps, for there were moments when he rushed into battle where no battle was. She talked and laughed and positively forget until he had come in that Per Fulton had not turned up.
I wonder if Miss Fulton has forgotten.
I expect so. She's on the phone.
Ah, there's a taxi now. She lives in taxis.
She will run fast if she does. Frightful danger for a blonde woman.
Oh, Harry, don't.
Oh, Mrs. Fulton. Finally you come.
Am I late?
No, not at all. Come along.
I met her at the Alpha show. The weirdest little person. She not only cut her hair, but she seemed to have taken a dreadful good snip off her legs and arms and her neck. All her poor little nose as well.
Isn't she very lee with my clothes?
The man who wrote Love and False Kiss, did you? He wants to write a play for me, one act, one man. To commit suicide. Gives all the reason why he should and why he shouldn't. It's not a bad idea.
Who's going to call it? Stomach trouble?
I think I've come across the same idea in a little French review. Quite unknown in England.
Harry was enjoying his dinner. It was part of his, well, not his nature exactly, and certainly not his pose. His something or other to talk about food and to glory in his shameless passion for the white flesh of the lobster, and the green of the pistachio asses, green and cold like the eyelids of Egyptian damsels.
Berta, this is a very admirable soufflé.
And still, in the back of her mind, there was the pear tree. It would be silver now, in the light of the poor dear Edith's moon.
Do you want to come on and see my new coffee machine?
We have a coffee machine once a fortnight.
I know. Come.
Have you a garter?
Yes. Do you want to see it?
Of course.
Come, there it is.
And the two women stood side by side, looking at the slender, flowering tree. Although it was so still it seemed, like the flame of a candle, to stretch up, to point, to quiver in the bright air, to grow taller and taller as they guessed, almost to touch the rim of the round silver moon. How longer did they stand there? Forever? For a moment? And did Miss Fulton murmur, yes, just that, or did Bertha dream it?
My dear Mrs. Knight, don't ask me about my baby. I never see her. I shan't feel the slightest interest in her until she has a lover.
What I want to do is to give the young men a show. I believe London is simple teeming with first stop and writing plays. What I want to say to them is, here is the theater, fire ahead.
You know, my dear, I'm going to decorate for the Jacob Nathan. Oh, I'm so tempted to fry fish stew with the back of the chair, shaped like frying pans, and lovely potatoes, embroidered all over the curtains.
Yes, but the trouble is that with our young writing men is that they are still too romantic. You can put out to sea without being seasick and wait in the basin. Well, why won't they have the courage of those basin?
about a girl who was violated by a vegan without a nose and little room.
Egyptian, Turkish, Virginian, they all mix up.
No, thank you. I won't smoke.
Berta thought, "Oh, Harry, don't dislike her. You are quite wrong about her. She is wonderful, wonderful. And besides, how can you feel so differently about someone who means so much to me? I shall try to tell you when we are in bed tonight what has been happening, what she and I shared. Soon these people will go. The house will be quiet, quiet. The lights will be out, and you and he will be alone together in the dark room, the warm bed." For the first time in her life, Bertha Young desired her husband. Oh, she had loved him. She had been in love with him, of course, in every other way, but just not in that way. And equally, of course, she had understood that he was different. They discussed it so often. It had worried her dreadfully at first to find that she was so cold, but after a time it had not seemed to matter. They were so frank with each other, such good pals. That was the best of being modern. But now, ardently, ardently, the word etched at her ardent body. Was this what that feeling of bliss had been leading up to?
My dear, you know our shame. We are victims of time and train. We live in Hampstead. It's been so nice. Oh, I go with you into the hall. I loved having you. But you must not miss the last train. That's so awful, isn't it?
Have another whiskey before you go, Knight.
No, thanks, old chap. Good night. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Then you can come back to wait my taxi.
I shall be so thankful not to have to face another drive alone after my dreadful experience.
You can get a taxi at the end of the street. You won't have to walk more than a few yards.
Just a comfort. I'll go and put on my coat.
Let me help you.
Berta knew that he was repenting his rudeness. She let him go. What a boy he was in some ways, so impulsive, so simple.
I wonder if you have seen Björk's new poems called Table Daughter. It's so wonderful, in the last anthology. Have you got a copy? I'd so like to show it to you. It begins with an incredible beautiful line. Why it always be tomato soup? Yes, I think I have it. Can you go with this? Yes. Wait for a moment. Here it is. Oh, thanks. Over here. Here it is. Why must it always be tomato soup? It's so deeply true, don't you feel? Tomato soup is dreadfully eternal.
I adore you. Tomorrow?
Yes.
I can call you a cab to come to the door.
Oh, no, it's not necessary. Oh, goodbye. Thank you so much.